All right, our next topic is going to be collaboration. And when the panel and I met, we talked about how breaking down barriers and managing by influence, because you work kind of across your organizations, are really critical.
So one of the hardest things to do is to say you want weekly meetings with designers, because it's sort of like, all right, fine, what are we going to... Trust me, don't say you want to set up a weekly production meeting. I call them all focus events. And what I do is we want to get it to the table, right? We want to know what they're up to and what events are coming. So you'll bring a focus event, and let's say you bring your paper vendor with you because he's got a new product that he's offering, or your equipment vendor there that can sit with designers because we're having issues with files. So we do this weekly, and I have a bunch of people that go up once a week in New York, and we set up these weekly focus events. It helps break down walls, and as the conversation starts, you hear about all these events that we never heard of before. But we do 1 year event, and then so what we did in our office in New York, the top floor, 29th floor, you got an incredible view of New York. We took our wide format printer and made copies of all our machines and put them up in stops. So we have one large press over here. We set it up like a print shop. We brought in our paper vendors. We brought our manufacturers. We sort of did like a little vendor show. And then the discussions talked about, what's upcoming and so forth. It's been extremely successful to a point now where they're actually asking us, hey, there's an event coming. Can I get Ray to come out, or I get Ron because he helped us out with this last project. So instead of just doing this same mundane thing, try to change the word. And when we call it a focus event, it seemed to help increase our communication.
Excellent. Okay, Doug is going to talk about problem solving. He has this example of this car here for an auction. He's got a great story.
Yeah, thank you. What we have, like many of you, let me preempt this too. Most of the ideas I've still borrowed from other implant managers before me, so if some of this sounds a lot familiar, it probably came from one of you guys. I appreciate that, thank you. Now, having that disclaimer out, we've had a reputation for problem solving, so amongst administrative staff, they'll say, just call the print shop, they'll fix that for you. And we try to encourage that. One of my staff members call it being the MacGyver effect, where you take a paper clip, a pack of crayons, and make a color copy for them that they had no idea how to do it that fast. For example, one of our sites, the Las Vegas site, was having a dinner dance auction, and they called on a Monday complaining that their local vendor who was going to donate a big poster for them that looked like the shape of a car had backed out. And so they wanted to know if we could help them because their event was on Wednesday. And we're in Nebraska and they're in Nevada, and we couldn't even drive that far that fast. But we found a way to print a poster of a car about full size, cut it out on foam core, make a mounting for it so it'd sit on a table, and fold it down and ship it out to them on Tuesday so they'd have it on Wednesday. And we didn't actually list that in the things we could do on a regular basis of car mounting, but we figured out a way to do that. And now we get a lot more business from the people in Vegas, and that site tells other people about that. So it's a collaboration, a relationship you build with creating the MacGyver effect, where you figure out a way to make it go.
MacGyver. All right.
That's my car.
Yes, it was a flat one too, but this is the one I chose to show. Federal Homemake Atlanta. He's going to talk about the 3 questions they ask. This is brilliant, I think.
Yeah, so what I think everybody here knows it's very important to have relationships built throughout the organization that you're in. And so we've all sat down and sort of came up with our team with 3 questions, and we use these 3 questions no matter what, whether it's just a one-on-one with my direct reports, or if it's with different departments. If we have a board meeting, after the board meeting, we'll sit down in a room with our whiteboard, and we ask, what works, what's not working, what can we do different? And you would be amazed at just really what comes out of those meetings and what you can really accomplish. It really, and using the whiteboard to just all get in a room, work together on finding a solution. And it could be from with in our area, technology-wise, we'll ask the same question to bring in something new. What do we need? We're looking at the web to print for our area right now. We're just trying to think that's our next solution. So that came out of those three questions. And if we have we use that a lot with the board meeting and planning. They'll come to us, we'll sit in a room, and we want to make sure the board of directors are always happy and make sure that everything is flowing really well during their stay at their event. So those have been the three questions that we asked, and it works really well. Yeah.
So what's working? What's not working? What can we do differently? I've also heard stop, start, continue is a really abbreviated way to do that. Shelley's going to talk about staying connected.
Yes, I actually learned the hard way about staying connected. I used to try and put everything in a big email. I looked at it like I don't want to bombard the staff with a million different emails, so I'm just going to write this novel and tell them everything they need to do before they leave for the summer if they want their jobs when they get back. And I actually had one of our staff members talking to somebody that came in at the beginning of the school year and said, they came in and did it all wrong, and he said, there was an email with instructions, did you get that? And she goes, I don't read those. And I was really stunned, I didn't know what to say, so it's like, okay, well, we'll just take your order then. And so I learned from that if I send a novel of all the things that they need to do for summer school or for when they come back in September, and I have a list of things that they need to do, I send out short little blasts. I don't send anything that's more than a paragraph, because if it's a paragraph, they'll read it. And if it's coming to the end of the year, I'll send 3 or 4, because there's 3 or 4 things that they need to do before they go if they want their items when they come back. And that has just been huge. I've had so much response for that. I just did that the first time this year, and it's really been huge. We have a lot of special times of the year that like testing is done, and so I can just send a reminder instead of saying, hey, don't forget, you got to order these. I just say, remember, testing is coming up, and we want to make sure that you're covered for your classroom. And I do that throughout the year. Any little item, semester breaks, I look on the calendar ahead of time and just make sure it's just one paragraph at a time.